Hello everyone, this is part 2 of What If Naruto Leaves Konoha and Joins Akatsuki, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist. To see more, comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Naruto, the time has come for us to go talk with the Kyuubi, said Itachi. But, how? Asked Naruto. I mean, talk with the Kyuubi is no big deal, but how are you going to do that? Main Sharingan, calmly answered Itachi. Naruto paled when he realized what Itachi was talking about. That thing that he did to Sasuke, and then he couldn't wake up without the old hag's help, remembered Naruto. Seeing Naruto's scared expression, Itachi reassured him, don't worry Naruto, it won't be the same jutsu I used to Sasuke. I won't inflict damage upon you. Alright, fine, let's do it, said Naruto. Well kid, looks like we're gonna see each other face to face again. Itachi and Naruto sat down in a comfortable meditating position and Itachi switched his eyes to reveal the Sharingan. Naruto, just look into my eyes, and relax, said Itachi and activated the jutsu. The last thing Naruto saw, before everything turned black, was the redness of Itachi's eyes, and it seemed as though the 3 black dots began to spin around. The next thing Naruto knew, he was on his knees in that familiar murky corridor with the yellow walls and water that goes up to your ankle. Except this time was different, he noticed a black figure next to him, he looked up to see that it was Itachi. So this is what the inside of that seal is like, thought Itachi. In the distance they could hear growling and snorting. Naruto got up and started walking toward the sound. This menacing aura unnerves even me. Itachi shivered slightly, yet Naruto seems to be fearlessly going straight towards it. Naruto looked back when he saw that Itachi was not following, instead he was still looking around the corridor. Come on, said Naruto, there's nothing to see here. Naruto and Itachi steadily made their way down the corridors and passages until they saw what looked like a door of light. Stepping thought it, Itachi was amazed to see the great gate looming several dozen feet in the air. It had some intricate designs around the edges and there was a piece of paper with the kanji, sealed, written on it. Behind those bars lies one of the most powerful demons in the world. This thought made Itachi slightly uncomfortable, since he could sense the amount of power that was behind the gate. Suddenly out of the darkness appeared giant red eyes and white, very pointy, teeth. Itachi shook lightly as he laid eyes on the Kyuubi. Wow, it's enormous, were about the only thoughts that Itachi had at that moment. Long time no see, Fox, said Naruto, not very politely. Yes, we can once again converse with each other face to face, said the Kyuubi. Itachi was still speechless. Nice to see come visit this dark, ugly, partially flooded home of mine, said the Kyuubi with resentment. Well, what the hell do you want me to do about it? Countered Naruto. Well, since it's your mind you may as well try refining it. It's your cage, you decorate, argued Naruto. And what the hell am I supposed to use for decorations? You ungrateful little kid, roared the Kyuubi. Well, you seem to have plenty of fur that is going to waste, said Naruto sarcastically. Ah, roared the Kyuubi, that is not funny kid. The argument between the kid and the demon continued on for a little while longer, making Kyuubi angrier and angrier. I don't believe this, Naruto is talking with the Kyuubi as if he's, well, just a normal person you meet out on the street. He doesn't seem to care that he's pissing off a great demon, thought Itachi. The Kyuubi finally noticed Itachi's presence and decided to address him in an effort to change the subject. Naruto, looks like you brought a friend with you today, said the Kyuubi. Ha, oh yay, this is my sensei, Uchiha Itachi, introduced Naruto. A guy. Why couldn't you bring a girl? They are a lot tastier you know, said the Kyuubi licking his lips. Itachi flinched at this last remark. What? Itachi-sensei is not for eating, yelled Naruto. Humph, so you are the Uchiha prodigy, mused Kyuubi, so why did you come here? A little sigh seeing Tor, said Kyuubi with a smirk. Regathering his confidence, Itachi was finally able to respond, no, I am here to ask you to give you power to Naruto. Give my power to the boy, laughed the Kyuubi, and why the hell should I do that? Well, he is your host and it is only natural that your image reflects on his, said Itachi. And because of that, don't you want your host to look good and be powerful? Questioned Itachi. Be powerful and look good? Yes, yes, I want that, mused the Kyuubi. Suddenly an evil grin crossed the Kyuubi's face. Speaking of looking good, the Sharingan looks very good. Especially since it became a rare commodity, said the Kyuubi in a tone that sent chills down both Naruto and Itachi's spines. Naruto, what do you think? We take one of his eyes and then use it as our own. The Kyuubi asked with an evil sadistic laugh. Itachi trembled. If he really wanted to take my eye, would I be able to stop him? Damn fox. What's wrong with you? Screamed Naruto, adding some other quite colorful words. The Kyuubi had finally managed to calm himself down. He enjoyed watching humans tremble in fear of him. It kind of annoyed him that Naruto wasn't like the rest of them, but on the other hand Naruto was more of challenge, harder to crack than the rest of them, and the Kyuubi enjoyed such challenges in life. Even though he would never admit it, he respected the boy a little bit. More power, huh? Mused the Kyuubi. Well Naruto, I think we can make a deal. What kind of deal? Asked Naruto carefully. How about this? The stronger you get, the more of my power you will have access to. How about jutsus? Asked Naruto. Well, I'll let your scared sensei there take care of that for now. Naruto scowled at this. Later on I'll fill in the blanks and teach you some very high-level jutsus, said the Kyuubi sadistically. Naruto considered this deal carefully. It didn't seem bad. As long as he trained hard, the Kyuubi would give him more and more power. Alright, I agree, but first you gotta teach me something for all the hard work that I have put in these last few months, said Naruto forcefully. As if, growled the Kyuubi, now get the hell out of here. With that the Kyuubi sent a wave of chakra at both Itachi and Naruto, and knocked him out to reality. Naruto woke up to find himself back in his room, lying down on the bed. Naruto tried to get up, but the pain in his head forced him back down. Goddamn fox, you didn't have to hit me that hard. As soon as he said that though, he felt his urge to perform some sort of jutsu. What the hell? I don't even recognize this order of seals, maybe I'll just wait a little bit before doing the jutsu. Contemplated Naruto. But as soon as he thought that, his headache seemed to increase even more, as if telling him to do the jutsu. Fine. Damn it, said Naruto while getting up from the bed. Can't I get some time to rest and recover? Mumbled Naruto as he was going through the seals. Seal, dog, dragon, bird, horse, ox, tiger. Fire wave no jutsu, yelled Naruto. He suddenly felt himself surrounded by an immense amount of chakra. Looking down and around himself he saw that it was red chakra. Those physical form resembled that of a foxtail. Kisame appeared in front of Naruto with awe in his face. What the hell is that, Naruto? So I guess the Kyuubi decided to teach me a jutsu after all, smiled Naruto. This is a jutsu the Kyuubi taught me, calmly answered Naruto. Kisame blinked in surprise. The Kyuubi taught him. Well, this day just keeps getting more and more interesting. Flashback. After having a talk with the leaders of the Akatsuki, Itachi and Kisame were on their way to Naruto. So, Itachi-sensei, mocked Kisame, what kind of ninjutsu are we going to teach him first? Itachi sent Kisame a death glare, but calmly said, no, today I'm planning on helping him utilize the Kyuubi's powers. Kisame was clearly shocked. And exactly how are you planning to do that? By going into his mind and having a talk with the Kyuubi, said Itachi as if it was an everyday occurrence. You're gonna go, and, Kisame blabbered like his for a while trying to recompose himself. He's gonna go see the Kyuubi. I don't care if it's locked up in a cage, that's a demon for crying out loud. Thought Kisame. Finally, after several deep breaths, that's all great Itachi, but what if the Kyuubi refuses? I'm sure we can come to some form of agreement. I hope so. Kisame thought Itachi had finally lost it, but of course didn't say so out loud. Itachi, are you insane? This is a demon you're negotiating with. Even you, being you, don't hold anything over it. About an hour later, this is still in flashback. Itachi walks in carrying an unconscious Naruto over his shoulder. What the hell happened to him? Asked Kisame as he saw Itachi put Naruto on the bed. Passed out, Itachi said simply, guess it strained his mind too much. Just then there was a knock on the door. Itachi opened the door to reveal a figure in all black with long dark green hair and emerald eyes. More on this person later. A few quick words were exchanged and Itachi made to leave, but turned around and said, I'm being summoned by the High Council, I'll be back in, sometime later. Guess I'll just let the brat sleep. Mental exhaustion, especially when the Sharingan is involved, should be allowed to pass naturally. End flashback. So I take it you and Itachi talked with the Kyuubi. It was more of a question than a statement though. Yeah, said Naruto calmly. I can't believe this kid, he's talking about as if it's a normal, everyday occurrence, thought a bewildered Kisame. Although Kisame wanted to ask Naruto how come he was so calm, he could risk letting the suspect that he was even the littlest bit scared of the fox. I see, what did you agree on? Asked Kisame. Basically that the more I train the more power the Kyuubi will be willing to give me, said Naruto as he released the jutsu. Kisame suddenly remembered about the new jutsu that Naruto had and asked him about it. Oh, it's a defensive jutsu, the Kyuubi said that it will keep out almost any kind of attacks, explained Naruto. He didn't tell me everything though, so I'm gonna have to play around with it later. I see, a demonic ultimate defense, thought Kisame. Then the door opened and Itachi walked in. Kisame, we have a mission in the waterfall country, said a serious Itachi. I see, answered Kisame and began packing his things. Naruto was dismayed. What about me? He asked. You're coming with us, replied Itachi, so get packing. Alright, a mission. Rejoiced Naruto. No, said Itachi, the mission is only for Kisame and me, you will just be training. Oh, pouted Naruto. Well, at least I get to travel, better than being stuck inside this hole. The three quickly packed up a few belongings. Itachi presented Naruto with his very own Akatsuki cloak that was of course see-down to fit Naruto. Even though Naruto had grown a little bit due to his intense training routine, he was nowhere near as tall as Itachi or Kisame. They had a light lunch and set out from their mountain residence. They traveled back the same way they used to come there. After several days of travel they arrived at the waterfall country without many occurrences. However, during this trip Naruto learned a very valuable skill, the ability to K. It occurred at the end of the second day, when they had made camp and were getting ready to go to sleep. Naruto had first watch. About an hour after Itachi and Kisame fell asleep, Naruto picked up distinct sounds of people sneaking about around them. After just several seconds of listening, Naruto could tell that there were 4 people, 2 behind him and 2 in front. However, Naruto stayed perfectly still. So they think I don't notice, huh? Well, that'll be their undoing, thought Naruto while faking a yawn. From the feel of their chakra, or lack thereof, they're just bandits. Naruto smiled inwardly as he heard the 2 behind him start running towards him. Game on. The smell and feel of B, isn't it great? Asked the Kyuubi, obviously satisfied with his vessel. Shut up. Don't make me lose concentration, I still have 2 more to take care of, yelled Naruto. He spun around prepared to deal with the others in the same way, but found that Kisame and Itachi had already dealt with them. After seeing this he was surprised that he felt disappointed. What the hell? Why am I unhappy? Thought Naruto. Because they took away RK, growled an annoyed Kyuubi. Naruto still couldn't believe it. I'm sad that I didn't K them. Accept it already, kiddo, you like B, just like me, said the Kyuubi with an evil grin. No. Naruto tried to deny it weakly. Kid, face it, this is what you've always wanted. Ever since you were first exposed to people, said the Kyuubi as he showed him a memory from his past in Konoha. With the memory came emotions. Emotions of hate, loneliness, sadness, anger and intent. Thought a shocked Naruto. Yeah, kid, those were your instincts telling to retaliate against those assholes. Why you put with it is beyond me. I just wanted to prove them wrong, answered Naruto in a sad tone. And you can still do that, said the Kyuubi. What do you mean? Asked Naruto confused. I ran away from the village and K some of their own people. How can I prove them wrong? Don't you see, kid? They think, no, they believe, that you are weak. That they can K you at any time. Don't you see it? They have been trying to break your resolve to live, all of your life. How do you prove them wrong, you ask? Simple, use that hate and anger to become stronger, motivated the Kyuubi. But look at what that did to Sasuke. I don't want to like that. No, that idiot let his hate and anger consume him, countered Kyuubi. I said use your hate and anger. Use it as fuel for your strength, but never, and I mean never, let it take control of you. That was my mistake, mumbled the Kyuubi. Huh, what do you mean? Asked Naruto. Never mind that, I might tell you later. The important thing is that you understand and utilize what I have just told you. Will you do that? I'll try, said Naruto uncertainly. I won't take any tries from you. Just do it, said the Kyuubi forcefully. I'll help you out on the way. Yes, I will, said Naruto determinedly. Now, if you'll please notice what is going on in the real world, said Kyuubi sarcastically. Oi, Naruto, yelled Kisame. After not getting a response for the third time, he finally punched him lightly in the face to try and wake him up. Ow, that hurts, you know, yelled Naruto. Oh, well, good to have you back, joked Itachi. Get a little freaked out by your first K, teased Kisame with a grin. No, just. Naruto was unsure whether he should tell them about being able to talk with the Kyuubi. Should I tell them about our arrangement? Naruto asked Kyuubi. Yeah, but just say that you can talk to me and nothing more. Just what? Asked Kisame, still grinning. I was just having a conversation with the Kyuubi, said Naruto. Itachi and Kisame were both absolutely shocked. You're telling me that you can with the Kyuubi? Asked Itachi, then added, since we made the deal. No, even before the deal, replied Naruto, I'd say since I met him in person the first time, when Ero Sennin pushed me off a cliff. Ero Sennin, he must mean Jiraiya, thought Itachi. Why would he try to K his own student? Asked Kisame. He thought that was the quickest way for me to learn to use the Kyuubi's chakra. That's insane. There are dozens of safer ways to learn chakra control, thought Kisame. Yawn, man. I'm tired, said Naruto. Can we just go to sleep? Of course, said Itachi. 9 months later, they were sitting in a restaurant in the water country, celebrating the 1-year anniversary of Naruto's enrollment into the Akatsuki. While eating his meal, Naruto was reminiscing about the last year. The mission Itachi and Kisame had to the waterfall country turned out perfectly, and they were soon assigned another one in the Earth country. The last 9 months consisted of constant missions for Itachi and Kisame, during which they traveled through many different countries to finally end up in the water country. Throughout this time, Naruto trained vigorously to build up his taijutsu, ninjutsu and genjutsu. The Kyuubi kept his word and would teach him some jutsus whenever he felt that Naruto had progressed enough. Since it turned out to be a jutsu every 2 or 3 weeks, Naruto assumed that the Kyuubi had so many that it would take Naruto many years to learn everything. During this time, Naruto also became a lot more attached to his teachers, especially Itachi. They seemed to genuinely care for his well-being, and not just because they were ordered to take care of him. This really showed when they remember his birthday. That day they gave him a day off from training to do whatever, then they took him out to dinner and actually gave him a gift. Naruto was disappointed at first since they gave him a book that seemed to just talk about the human body. However, Itachi explained to Naruto that if he was very well familiar with the human anatomy, then he would be able to defeat his opponents faster. The most surprising thing, for Naruto, was that the Kyuubi also gave him a gift in the form of jutsu. The jutsu turned out to be a summoning contract with the foxes. When Naruto was signing the contract, he noticed that his name was the first and only one on the list. This gave him a certain edge in battle, since no other person would be able to summon the same thing as him, and also because no one probably knew that foxes were available as a summoning. Naruto thanked everyone greatly. For the first time in his life, he felt like he had friends that cared. Naruto even thanked the Kyuubi, but not as much since he didn't want to get soft on the fox. In terms of training, Naruto now knew most of the fire jutsus. Except the forbidden ones. He knew several earth jutsus, many that didn't have a type, such as teleportation, special sight jutsus and enhancement jutsus. He was now starting to learn water jutsus, which is one of the reasons that the trio came to the water country. After reading the human anatomy book, Naruto memorized all the critical points on the body and did special kunai and shuriken training so that he would hit those points. Naruto also learned high-level chakra control, so now he used the exact amount he needed and was also able to hide his chakra completely. Only Itachi, because of the Sharingan, could tell that Naruto had chakra flowing in him. Also, during this last year, Naruto had changed drastically. No more was he the naive, innocent and loud little boy. Now he was calm, collected and very knowledgeable. He learned how to keep his emotions hidden and in check at all times. He no longer joked around, not to say that he lost his sense of humor. he just didn't show it to everyone anymore. Physically, Naruto had grown to be only half a head shorter than Itachi, his muscular build was even with Kisame, and his stamina incomparable to either of them. After their meal, which Naruto insisted on paying for because he said that he had to repay his teachers somehow, the three Akatsuki members went back to their hotel. All the way back to the hotel, Naruto kept thanking them for everything. Naruto, you can stop thanking us already, laughed Itachi. Yeah, I think we have been thanked more times than anyone in the world, added Kisame. I know, said Naruto enthusiastically, but it's just that you were probably the closest thing I've ever had to family. Oh no, Naruto, your family was a lot better than us, said Itachi. You know about my family? Asked Naruto hopefully. Yeah, probably any Junin of the Leaf would know about your family, said Itachi simply, then added, especially your former teacher, Kakashi. Really? Asked Naruto, could you tell me about them? Wait, you mean you don't know? Itachi's eyes widened a little. No, answered Naruto sheepishly. Well, I don't know a lot, said Itachi. I know about your father, but not your mother. Your father was the Yondaime Hokage, Kazumi Arashi, said Itachi. I have seen this name used for the Yondaime in several fanfics, so I'm gonna use it too. Naruto just stared at Itachi with bugged-out eyes and an open mouth. My father was the Yondaime, stuttered Naruto, then he sealed the QB inside me. Why would he do that to me? Your father was a very honorable and noble man, Naruto. If he could make the sacrifice, then there would be no way he would ask some other family in the village, replied Itachi. That's one reason, kid, there is another, but it will be better if I show you my memory later, said the QB sincerely. Why didn't you tell me before? Said a now angry Naruto. First of all, would you have believed me? Asked the QB. Yes, replied Naruto. You say that now, but right now that information can't be put to any kind of practical use. And if I were to tell you before, back in Konoha, then you wouldn't have believed me, calmly explained the QB, but let's talk about this later. After you go to sleep, we'll talk in person. Alright, agreed Naruto. I can't believe Kakashi or Jiraiya for that matter didn't tell you, continued Itachi. Why those two in particular? Asked Naruto since he noticed Itachi concentrating on them. Simple, Jiraiya trained your father and from what I've heard they were really close. Kakashi was your father's student, Yondaime regarded him as prized pupil and treated him almost like his own son. Who else could know? Asked Naruto, trying very hard to keep his emotions in check. Tsunade, Sandaime for sure, most likely anyone that Junin rank during the battle with the QB, said Itachi. I found out when I was testing out main Sharingan on an experienced Uchiha. To keep his only son in absolute darkness, that horrible, said Kisame, finally joining in the discussion. How did you know? You're from the mist, asked Naruto. Itachi told me, a little while after we started training you, answered Kisame. I didn't say anything because I thought that you knew and it was probably a hard subject for you to talk about. I see, said Naruto with a slight hint of resentment, then after noticing that they registered his tone he added, but thank you for telling me, and I'm not mad at you in any way. I just found another reason to hate that village. Itachi nodded, let's call it night, shall we? Yeah, said Naruto, but didn't move. Itachi walked over to Naruto and put his hand on Naruto's shoulder. Come on, things will look better after a good night's sleep. Wordlessly they each went to get ready for bed and fell asleep soon after, all except Naruto, who kept thinking about what he just learned. Damn those bastards, they couldn't even tell a simple thing such as who my parents were. Here I am over 14 years old and now I finally find out. Naruto was very angry right now. My teachers, Kakashi and Jiraiya, couldn't tell me. Especially Kakashi, prized pupil of the fourth Maya. If my father treated him like that, why couldn't he just return the favor? Resentment was now being thrown into the mixing pot of Naruto's emotions. I know why, he's just like the rest of them. Not training me because I'm the QB's container. Most of the older shinobi know that I'm the fourth son, but that doesn't seem to matter to them, does it? Oh no, doesn't matter at all, they all see the demon fox, the precious, demon fox. Thought Naruto sarcastically. With these kinds of angry and hateful thought, Naruto finally fell asleep. In front of QB's cage. You know you were right, said Naruto, I wouldn't have believed you while I was in the village. Now, it just serves to fuel my anger and hatred and in turn fuel my strength. That's all great, but you've got to calm yourself a little bit, said the Kyuubi. You're letting those two dangerous emotions take a hold of you. True, said Naruto and tried to relax, then remembered something. Hey, you said that there's a memory you want to show me, said Naruto. Yes, said the Kyuubi as he sent out his chakra towards Naruto. Kyuubi's memory. Naruto was dozens of feet off the ground in a forest. It was the middle of the night and he could see a great fire in the distance. Suddenly to his left he saw a giant toad appear. As the toad got closer, he could see the outline of a man standing on top of it. Naruto's view was changing, he was turning to face this toad. That must be Gamabunta. He suddenly saw a bright light appear from the man and felt himself being pulled towards the man. As he got closer he saw that in the man's arms was a baby. And that must be me, so that man is the fourth, my father. Before there was sucked into the boy he heard the man speak, I'm sorry to do this to you my son, but there is no one else that I can trust with this burden. You are my son and I know that you will be strong enough to protect the Leaf Village. I hope you grow up to become a good man and a good shinobi. He then saw himself being pulled into the baby and suddenly everything went dark. Back outside the Kyuubi's cage. That's it, that's the only memory I have of your father, that's the other reason he chose you and last but not least that's the last of my freedom. Naruto remained silent for a long while trying to sort out everything that he had just learned about his family. Do you know anything about my mother? Asked Naruto. No, said the Kyuubi, if you want information I suggest you find an old Konoha nin and beat it out of him. Naruto chuckled at this, but realized that that was probably the only way. Someday I will find out about my late family, Naruto promised himself, but for now I can't risk returning to Konoha. For the next 2.5 years, Naruto traveled around the world with Itachi and some other Akatsuki nin. Kisame had taught him all the water jutsus he knew, or at least all he was willing to teach. Afterwards he was forced to leave and was replaced by another member of the Akatsuki. His new teacher was a cloud nin, named Raiko. Raiko was also a tall man much like Kisame. He had short silver hair that was as spiky as Naruto's and teal eyes. Beneath his Akatsuki cloak he wore a red jacket, underneath which was a blue shirt. He wore dark blue pants that came down to cover half of his shins, but his tall black boots covered anything his pants didn't. Raiko taught him electric jutsus, for which Naruto seemed to have a natural affinity. After Raiko was done with him, Naruto could infuse almost all of his jutsus with electricity. It turned out that the Kyuubi knew several very high-level Raiten kinjutsus that it taught him. After Raiko came a grass nin, named Mia. Mia was about as tall as Itachi, she had long dark green hair and emerald eyes, sound familiar? Also they all wear the Akatsuki cloak so I won't mention it anymore. She wore a black jacket that had the right sleeve torn off and her right arm was bandaged. Under the jacket, well she never took off her jacket. She wore green and brown camouflage pants and black shoes. Mia specialized in poisons, but also taught Naruto how to summon vines that could hold your opponents and or transmit poisons, or you could just wrap up your opponent in these vines and they would crush him or her. It turned out that because of the Kyuubi, Naruto had a natural resistance to poison. This meant that poison would either not affect him at all or the effects would be weakened by a lot. This gave Naruto a serious upper hand, since he didn't have to worry about staying out of the way of his own poison. During his training Naruto managed to befriend every single one of his teachers. His relationship with Itachi also grew to a point where they could share anything with each other. For those of you sick people out there, no, it was not a relationship. Naruto told him about his life early in the Leaf, about the people or rather person that he could still consider a friend there. He also told him about Sasuke and his attempt to gain power from Orochimaru. Itachi in turn told Naruto about his earlier life and also explained the events that led up to the Uchiha massacre and why he left Sasuke alive. No, I won't elaborate. All in all, Naruto saw him as an older brother that he never had and occasionally would address him as Itachi Oni-chan, but only in private. It was after his training with Mia was done that Kisame came back and told them that they had a mission. This was to be Naruto's first mission for the Akatsuki. I will elaborate on the details later, said Kisame, but now we need to move out. Where are we going? Asked Naruto. To the Hidden Stone Village, replied Kisum. We have a mission in the Hidden Stone Village, said Kisum. We're leaving immediately then, ordered Itachi. Naruto nodded and instantly adopted a serious attitude. They packed up and left. Kisum estimated the trip to take 3 days. The first day was traveled mostly in silence, except Itachi and Kisum, who seemed to be discussing something. Even though Naruto burned with curiosity about his first mission, he decided it better not to ask. He knew that Itachi would fill him in eventually. Patience is something Naruto had to work hard to learn. While he did learn to be reserved, calm, cold and calculating from Itachi and Kisum, patience was different. To sit quietly for hours on end in ambush or espionage was not something Naruto had been very good at. Itachi and Kisum were the middle of two extremes. They wouldn't mind to sit in ambush, but they wouldn't do it for very long. If it wasn't working they would rather go find the enemy and openly attack them. Reiko was the type of person that didn't like to wait at all. He wouldn't wait to see what his opponent had in store for him. Better to strike first and KO your opponent before he can do anything to you, he would say. But never rush in blindly, and never show off anything high level. Limitations and regulations, they seem to always follow you around. No such thing as freedom. That was one of the reasons Naruto ultimately developed his own fighting style, to not take orders from anyone. Advice is fine, but orders reminded him too much of Konoha. Mia, she was the exact opposite of Reiko. She could sit in ambush for days. Annoyed the hell out of Naruto. But did ultimately teach him to be patient. Actually, it was either that or she would beat him up. It's really your choice, you know. Either you exert self-control or I force you to exert self-control. However, the force part was more like punishment, and she always seemed to know exactly how and when to exact revenge. Paralysis jutsus at the most uncomfortable moments, like paralyzing his jaw muscles right before dinner. Sadistic B was a common nickname Naruto used in the beginning. She wouldn't even get the slightest bit angry and would sometimes smile and thank him for the compliment. Naruto later found out that she was kind of like Itachi, in the sense that right before leaving she left the village a little present. She effectively poisoned their water supply, not to kill them, no, rather to make sure every single person stayed in bed for at least 2 weeks. Of course the ones with the weaker immune system would die, but hey, survival of the fittest, right? Anyway, she justified it saying that she needed a little head start. Unlike all his other teachers, Mia didn't start easy on him. She instantly jumped into advanced training. So training sessions such as ambushing Anbu and or hunter-nin was a common practice for her, and she would always have Naruto do the fighting alone. She would help him of course if he was going to die, but otherwise it seemed like she could care less. Nowadays Naruto thanks her for that, since missing nin can't be taught to rely on teammates. She really prepared him for the harsh reality of the real world. It seemed, to Naruto, that most of the members of the Akatsuki were on good terms with each other. The motto seemed to be, considerate with friends, ruthless with enemies. Naruto didn't mind that at all. He considered Itachi, Kisum, Reiko, and Mia to be friends, and most everyone else would then be an enemy. He had long ago forgotten about his former comrades and so-called friends from the Leaf. He saw one of them once. Iruka-sensei was what he used to call him. It was in a small town in the waterfall country. Naruto was on a one-day vacation and was wandering about the business district aimlessly. He saw him in a bar arguing with the bartender about something. There was a team of genin waiting impatiently outside, muttering something about sensei taking too long. Naruto's curiosity piqued. He hadn't seen anyone from his past since he left and wondered if maybe they were gathering info about him. He followed him for a little while, hoping to hear about what's happened since he left. Instinctively he started making mental notes about each person in the group, assessing their strengths and weaknesses. He wanted to stop himself, but realized that if they were searching for him that this would be valuable information. What would he do if that was the case? Well, that one's easy, he'd kill them. Sorry sensei, Naruto thought in a cold tone, but I can't have anyone knowing anything about me. Other than that, he didn't have any run-ins with people from the past. Sure, there were the occasional Leaf Anbu and or hunter-nin that he would kill as practice, but that was so routine he didn't even flinch. He remembered that after one of their training sessions, Itachi asked him from which village the ninjas were from, and after thinking for a little while Naruto found that he couldn't come up with an answer. He had just killed them, and like routine work. Itachi didn't reply to that in any way. It was his usual open your eyes to something and then leave you to figure out what it all means by yourself. On one hand, it scared Naruto, that he could just K people so easily. But on the other hand, Naruto figured that as long as they weren't important to him, it didn't really matter. Suddenly Itachi's voice snapped Naruto out of his reminiscing. We're going to camp here for the night. Night already, huh? Thought Naruto. That's just how his mind worked. Replacement, if you can't think of one thing, then make yourself think of something else. A sort of mind kawarimi no jutsu, if you will. Naruto chuckled slightly. As usual, dinner, as any other meal, was eaten in silence. This was a practice they observed because they found that ambushes usually came when you were peacefully eating and seemingly unaware of the surrounding world. After dinner, they were finally able to discuss the import business. Itachi's voice broke the silence. Naruto, it's time you knew what this mission consists of. Naruto turned his head and listened intently. First of all, we have to sneak into the hidden stone, which shouldn't be too difficult. Second, we have to locate the Kotuji estate, and get in there without alerting the stone Anbu. Third, the actual orders, we have to jay the Kotuji clan members, said Itachi in a cold tone. There's something special about this clan, isn't there? Asked Naruto. Yes, they're of an advanced bloodline, replied Itachi. Naruto's eyebrow lifted slightly. What kind of advanced bloodline? Asked Naruto cautiously. They have the ability to create golems out of stone, dirt, mud, anything that is part of the earth, said Kisame. Don't worry, Naruto, said Itachi, all that's left of this clan is just a father and son. You will fight with the kid and Kisame, and I will fight the head of the clan. Naruto nodded in agreement, not that he could change the decision even if he had disagreed. Well, this would certainly prove to be an interesting battle, and he had 2 days to plan for it. The golems would most likely be like his chakra-reinforced Kage Bushin. I wonder how agile they will be. Since that would ultimately determine who he goes for first, the golems or the real enemy. A few things are already certain about the golems. Lightning is no good, poison is no good, wind is worth a try, water would probably be good, earth fighting earth doesn't seem productive, and fire is also worth a try. Now for the boy, if he has other things do his bidding, then he might be weak in taijutsu, ninjutsu we'll just have to see, and same for genjutsu. That's the thing about chakra using techniques, you can't tell how good a person is with them until you either observe them fighting or fight them yourself. Since the former was definitely out, Naruto would have to find out the hard way. Perhaps take a few hits, make himself look weak, all the while working on a counterattack. 2 days later, they stood in front of large metal gates with the stone symbol carved into them. This was it, the point of no return. Once inside, they would have to complete the mission. However, the trio was unfazed. They simply kept walking forward with absolute confidence. Itachi activated his Mangekyo Sharingan and the guard didn't even question them. Part 1. Complete, thought Naruto, even though he knew that he didn't do anything. Finding the Kotuji clan residence was no problem. They seemed to be well known in the stone. Getting in was done in much the same way. Part 2. Complete, thought Naruto. Now comes the hard part, Part 3. They are on the far side of the compound, whispered Naruto, training most likely. Heightened senses made search and destroy missions, or training sessions as it was for Naruto, so easy. His senses confirmed the information. There were only 2 people training and the guards didn't seem to be numerous or paying too much attention. We best attack while they are training, said Itachi in a low voice. We can't take chances on other ninjas showing up. Kisame and Naruto nodded in agreement and moved toward their enemies. They soon saw 2 figures. One was resting against a tree and the other was doing some sort of earth jutsu. Based on chakra levels, the latter is the kid, thought Naruto. The boy suddenly stopped his jutsu halfway through to look at the intruders, diverting his father's attention to the approaching trio. The man got up and yelled out, "Who are you and what are you doing here?" "Our idinis do not concern you," calmly replied Itachi, "and we are here for your heads." The boy visibly stiffened for a second, then became relaxed once again. However, this small change did not go unnoticed by Naruto. "So a little scared of death now, aren't we?" "You are not our enemies," replied the man once again. "Leave now or we will be forced to fight you." "Then you shall have to fight us," said Itachi coldly. As Itachi and Kisame prepared to battle, Naruto beckoned to the boy that he was going to fight him one-on-one. The boy proudly accepted Naruto's challenge and they both jumped a ways to the side to have more room to battle. Let's start off simple, thought Naruto. He then gathered the required chakra and made 2 Kage Bushin appear on either side of the stone nin. Not normal Kage Bushin, but chakra reinforced Kage Bushin. Naruto always makes this special kind nowadays since the normal kind are just worthless in a real battle. The boy was shocked that Naruto was able to perform ninjutsu without the use of seals. Naruto smirked at the stone nin's reaction. Training pays off, even if I can only do this with simple jutsus. The clones attacked the stone nin using only taijutsu, one going for the legs, the other for the torso and head. The stone nin was able to dodge the clones' attacks and after gaining some distance did several hand seals and his palms into the ground, secret jutsu, clay golem. Naruto then saw 3 mounds of earth rise up and form themselves into the shape of a person. So this is what they look like, mused Naruto, now to test them. He instantly had his Kage Bushins attack the golems. While the golems certainly lacked in speed and couldn't always block or dodge his clones' attacks, they sure packed a punch. Both of his special Kage Bushins were destroyed in just 3 or 4 hits. Without a moment of hesitation the stone nin had his golems attacking the real Naruto. Naruto parried and dodged the attacks easily and noted that the golems were fighting on a Chunin level. Just when he was about to counterattack, Naruto felt some chakra below him. He's going to attack me with ninjutsu while I'm distracted fighting his golems with taijutsu, then I have to get serious. Naruto jumped up right before the ground under him exploded. He pushed himself off the heads of one of the golems, sending it into the others, slowing them down a little bit. While in midair, Naruto already started doing the necessary hand seals for his jutsu. He completed the hand seals several seconds after landing. Suten, water explosion no jutsu, said Naruto in a faint voice. Before the golems could react they were swallowed up by the water and carried away about 50 feet before being into a wall. The water had torn apart the clay and hence rendered the golems useless. Naruto's attention was now switched to the stone nin and Naruto smirked at the frown on his face. The stone nin then started doing the same hand seals as he had done a little while ago. Naruto knew better than to let him finish and instantly charged at him whispering, "Split." From the stone nin's perspective there was only one Naruto charging at him, but in reality the stone nin was just seeing the clone and the real Naruto was stealthily making his way behind his opponent. Split copy Kage Bushin, split, the clone comes out of the user's body. Basically imagine a soul leaving a body. Same type of image except it's not the soul but a clone. If the clone charges forward it looks like the real person is charging forward. If any other direction most people would write it off as genjutsu. Both being terrible mistakes in battle. Naruto's clone charged forward, but right in front of the stone nin he suddenly disappeared and reappeared behind him and made to punch him in the back of the head. The stone nin countered via Kawarimi replacing himself with a rock. The stone nin smirked, Dotten, spike, Dotten, landbind, the earth crawled up the clone's legs up to about his knees and solidified. Thinking that victory was his the stone nin relaxed and calmly walked over to the clone. You underestimated me, said Naruto in a cold tone, and you assumed too much. The stone nin shifted uncomfortably and tried to break from Naruto's hold, but was unsuccessful. Quote, "Hey kid, take that scroll your enemy has," suddenly said the Kyuubi, making Naruto flinch in surprise. Naruto took the scroll and looked at it. Dotten Jutsu Mastery was written on the cover. It's probably something to do with their blood limit, thought Naruto. Maybe or maybe not, calmly replied the Kyuubi, then noticing the hesitation in Naruto's mind added, "Just take it. If it is worthless you can practice one of your fire jutsus on it. The fire jutsus I need practice with are all a bit too big for a scroll. Get off your high chair. You don't know everything there is in the world," growled the Kyuubi. Fine, grumbled Naruto. Although it was true that Naruto wasn't that good with earth jutsus. He knew some, but he didn't use them very often, mostly because he said that by the time you put your palms on the ground your enemy could have already gained a better position. Even though Itachi didn't share his point of view, he didn't bother pursuing him with further training for 2 reasons. 1. Naruto, being as stubborn as he is, wouldn't back off his point. 2. Naruto was already proficient in Raiten, Suten and Kaiten. So Doton wasn't really necessary. Naruto pocketed the scroll, grabbed his enemy's head and went to meet up with Itachi and Kisame, who he saw had now completed their battle. Itachi took a look at Naruto, saw the head he was carrying and nodded in approval. Kisame threw Naruto a bag to put the head in. "Let's get out of here," said Kisame, "we are unwelcome." With that the three vanished running towards the nearest exit. Naruto noticed that getting out always seemed to be more bothersome than getting in. They always fight to hold you in, but are much more mellow when it comes to holding you out. Several days later, they appeared before the Akatsuki Council and reported their mission complete. The three leaders acknowledged this and for the first time in 3.5 years actually introduced themselves to Naruto. Roto was the leader of the Akatsuki. It seemed that he started it with the help of Kane, who was second in command. Hajiko was the first member and resided on the council because he didn't have any missions. Roto also informed him of the death of one of the teams of the Akatsuki. Roto did mention the names, but since they didn't mean anything to Naruto he simply forgot them. This, combined with the fact that Naruto was now ready, is why they decided to split up the trio. Itachi and Kisame would go back to being a two-man team and Naruto would join up with Raiko. Roto then dismissed Naruto and bade him to make himself comfortable here until Raiko arrived from him mission. Itachi and Kisame were no doubt given another mission since Naruto didn't see them later that night. Raiko arrived in a few days and they were given another mission for which they set out immediately. 1.5 years later, Naruto was relaxing on the couch of his room at the Akatsuki headquarters after getting back from a mission. A lot has happened during the last 1.5 years. He did several missions with Raiko for the next 6 months. Some were missions, others were to steal something or other, usually scrolls. It was after returning from one of these missions, he learned that Kisame was K during his previous mission. The teams were rearranged once again and Naruto was back with Itachi as a teammate. Naruto mourned the loss of one of his dear friends, but did not let it get in the way of his job. He asked Itachi for the details many times, but Itachi either turned him down or managed to change the subject. Naruto finally gave up, hoping that one day Itachi would tell him, but until Naruto would give him his space. More missions followed, although the missions didn't seem to have any sort of logic to them. It looked as if the Akatsuki was using random hit-and-run tactics. This of course did not sit well with the members at all. Considering all of the Akatsuki members were Class S missing nin who could just as easily be doing random hit-and-runs on their own and get a lot more out of it. Sure, they were paid, but it seemed that it wasn't nearly enough. Half of the stuff they were stealing was easily worth 3 times as much on the black market. Tensions were high, yet the organization seemed to hold together. Naruto didn't care about this much, knowing that if there was a split he would follow Itachi. What was the Akatsuki for Naruto? Well, what began as a way to rebel against Konoha was now nothing more than a shell that told him who to kill or what to steal. He had to admit he didn't like being ordered about by a bunch of strangers. Why did he stay there? The only reason he could find was his big brother. Naruto respected, trusted and looked up to Itachi. Itachi knew all this of course, but he wasn't a person to openly show affection. Itachi also sometimes wondered whether Naruto could beat him or not. Neither would challenge each other to a real fight though, sparring was fine, but neither wanted to fight to the death. For Naruto because Itachi Oni-chan was like the family he never had, and for Itachi because Naruto was also like family, but in a different way. Naruto understood him, Naruto understood why he did what he did, Naruto understood his relationship with Sasuke a lot better than Sasuke did himself. Sasuke no Baka, chuckled Naruto. Someday maybe Naruto would beat it into Sasuke, but for now he was content with the knowledge that the so-called genius couldn't even figure out his own family relations. Just then Itachi walked in with a scroll in his hand and asked the door to bring Naruto back to the real world. Naruto glanced at Itachi. So, new mission. Yeah, this one's interesting, said Itachi in an amused voice. Really? So what are we doing? Asked Naruto in a passive tone. It's more like what you are doing. Itachi continued in the same voice. Great guessing games again, Itachi just loves this stuff, he has information which I have no way of knowing and then teases me with it. What do you mean? Asked Naruto in a half-bored tone. It's a solo mission for you, replied Itachi with a slight smile. Naruto raised his eyebrows slightly. Since when does the Akatsuki send ME on solo missions? Hell, since when does it send anyone on solo missions? Where? Asked Naruto. A very interesting place, replied Itachi. Amuse me, said Naruto in a very bored, but slightly frustrated tone. Itachi smiled and said the one word that almost made Naruto fall off the couch, Konoha. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.